Hello, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and this is episode 35 of my Billions and Billions challenge. In today's episode, I'm going to be using this island right here to dive into the mod Forestry. So I've already built a building on this island, and I also have a mechanism to get some power to this island. I have some solar panels from the mod NuclearCraft up here, and a very large capacitor that is actually full of energy at this point. So that's how I'm going to power everything, and in today's episode, I'm going to dive into the mod Forestry, and I will also be using the mod Gendustry to do that. So let's really get started. The first thing that I want to do is I want to set up an apiary that will be able to get me some combs so that I then can get honey so that I can use my portable analyzer right here, which will tell me the attributes of the bees and trees that I'm getting. So let's first, let's look at the biome I'm in, which is forest, so that's cool. So let's grab some bees out of here. I have moved all of the trees and the bees that I have, all of them that I've acquired over the time that I've been playing this, and they are in this ME system that I built in this building here. And this ME system is nothing special. It's literally an ME controller, an ME drive, crafting terminal, an additional covered cable with an import bus on this modular storage unit. So that's the entirety of the ME system. So let's get some bees here. So because we are in the forest biome, let's just go ahead and grab a forest drone and a forest queen or a forest princess. Let's grab a pristine stock. So the difference between the pristine stock and the ignoble stock is that the pristine stock will never die out, whereas at some point the ignoble stock will eventually die and you will be left without a princess once the queen dies. So if we use the pristine stock, the princess will never die, and so this system should be able to continue running pretty much for an infinite amount of time. So let's go ahead and set up one little industrial apiary here, and I do have power right here in with a very large capacitor here. So what I'm going to do is let's go ahead and set up the apiary. Let's do it right here. And this apiary will need power, so let's go ahead and hook it up to power. And I think, okay, where's my capacitor end? It ends right here. So let's go ahead and knock this out right here. And I should mention that I also have some stuff under here. I have some compression dynamos. They are currently off, but I did use them to kind of power up my capacitor to get it to its full point. But let's go ahead and hook this up right here. And we're going to set this to only extract power, and then we can go ahead and actually hook it up. So this is getting power. The industrial apiary is from the mod Gendustry. I am going to be using a lot of machines from the mod Gendustry today, and that is going to basically speed up the experience of the mod Forestry. So let's go ahead and set the modular storage unit here. And then what we're going to do with the item conduit is I'm going to wrap it around the apiary. But first, let's throw in our princess and our queen, or our drone. And that is how you get a queen. And then this queen right here will be able to produce things. Now, I totally forgot that I actually need flowers for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run back to my home base really, really quickly. Sorry if you're getting real bad stutter or anything right now. But I'm just going to grab a some sort of flower. So let's grab maybe a dandelion. That should work. And then I can go back to my ocean island. So I should probably show you exactly where this island is. This island is east northeast of my main base being in kind of the bottom left here, and then the ocean island being right here. This ocean island actually was not flat when I found it, believe it or not. I flattened it myself. So let's go ahead and set up a flower, and it just needs to be nearby. It should start operation pretty soon. So what we're going to do with this item conduit is I'm going to run it out and then around like this. So this is going to be an output, so we'll set this to be extract only, and this will be insert. And actually I might need to change this to item conduit, or not item conduit, but item duct, because I'm not sure if the item conduit is going to behave the same way. But basically, if I change this to item duct, I know that if I extract out this side here, it will always try to insert it into the first side unless I tell it to use round robin mode. And so, for example, when the princess and the drones split off of the queen here when it dies, they will actually come back into the apiary and recombine and form a new queen. So this may or may not work. I might have to replace this item conduit with item duct, but I know if I use item duct, it will work. So basically, all of the combs should end up into this modular storage unit right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up an import mechanism to this modular storage unit here. So let's get to digging a little bit. And I think here will be a good place to dig down. So let's actually knock that out as well. And let's grab our import bus. And some covered cable here so that I can actually hook this up. So at some point, this should start operation. I'm not sure why it says no flowers because that dandelion should qualify as a flower. Let's actually take a look real fast to make sure I'm not missing anything. So how you use this is you need honey drops up here, or I think honeydew might work. Yeah, but anyways, you just you can shift click or just put the queen or drone or whatever tree or flower or whatever in here, and then it will give you some attributes. On this first page here, it gives kind of the main attributes, and then the secondary pages show some other information. Like this is useful. It will tell me that I will get honeycomb from it. Let's see. So it says flowers. I believe a dandelion is considered a type of flower, so this should be able to work. Not really sure why it's not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this up real fast and then put it back down. It should keep its inventory when I pick it up. I think that's how this works anyways. So let's place this back down and let's see if it's going to work. It may or may not. I might need to actually get a pop. Nope. It looks like it's finally going to work. So let's go ahead and hook up this import bus. And then we just need to hook this up to the ME system. And so we're going to do that. Let's punch a hole in the wall right here. Let's drop this straight down. And actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace some stuff. Not this moment right now, but when I neaten everything up, I'm going to replace some of the conduit or the covered cable I'm laying down right now, just so that I can make it look neater. But for right now, I just want to get it up and running. So there we go. Let's go ahead and I threw away my dirt, didn't I? That was dumb. I guess I can just steal some dirt from right here and then cover this back up. Cool. So this should get me some honeycombs. It won't operate very quickly, but it should give me some. Let's see if we have any just yet. We don't. So that's fine. So let's actually get to me showing you exactly how I got all of my saplings, because I do have a lot of saplings and some of them are actually kind of rare. So I should have my spawner in here. I don't. Really? I thought I had my spawner in here. So yeah, I have some villagers and vials here, and one of them is the right villager and one of them is the wrong villager. You know what? I need to go back and get my spawner anyways to my main base. So I'm going to go back and grab that, and I'm also going to neaten up the mess I made out there. And then once I have that done, I will be right back. So I've got everything cleaned up. Let's show you exactly how I got a lot of my saplings. So I have a stabilized mob spawner, and to actually craft that, all you need is a broken spawner and a core from the mod Draconic Evolution. So let's actually take a look at the recipes. So it's actually really simple. All you need is a broken spawner and a core. The better the core, the more mobs will spawn at a time. And I use the awakened core on mine. And to get the broken spawner villager combination, I actually had just a regular broken spawner. And then I used a soul vial from the mod Ender.io with a villager captured inside, such as one of these right here. And I combined that in an anvil with a broken spawner to get a broken villager spawner. And then I made this here stabilized mob spawner. So let's go ahead and see how it works. Let's go ahead and place this thing down. And you can use a lever to actually control when villagers spawn. So if there's no signal, villagers will eventually spawn. And at some point, they should spawn. Did this get unset somehow? I think it did. Let me... I'm not sure, but at some point, it seems to have come unset. So let me see if I have... let me see if I can do this. Because nothing's spawning and it doesn't say villager on it. But this was a villager spawner. So let's... Okay. So that appears to work. So cool. So we're looking for the, not the apiarist, but the... he looks kind of like the nitwit here. So what I do with the extra villagers is I just kill them. I know that's kind of rude. So the green guy, we got him. So what I did is each time I spawned an arborist is I would go in, and at first they only have 2 things available. So I would trade with him. And let's get rid of him. So I would trade with him, and then that would unlock more things. And obviously one of the first things he has is saplings, but the saplings that he has during the first 2 trades, which would be wood planks and a sapling, are typically not very good saplings. And then you unlock more, and typically I would buy another item. So this nectarine pollen would be another thing I can get here. And then just wait. And let's go back. So he has a couple more things now. They're just woods. So typically I would see if there's anything valuable. Typically not so much. We'd grab another thing. And then the last trade that should be available is sometimes what can be more rare saplings and more rare pollens. Now, they're not always rare, so the hill cherry right here, which is one of the last trades he's offering, is not uncommon at all. This is super common, and I'm not sure how uncommon the chili pepper saplings are, but once again, I believe I already have some of them. But I am going to go ahead and trade for 2 more just because I can. I have lots of emeralds, that's not really a problem. So I'm going to go ahead and kill this guy. So one of the prized saplings that is available is actually, or not saplings, but pollens that are available is the giant sequoia pollen. You can't actually get the pollen directly, or the sapling directly, but yeah, actually this guy trades the coast sequoia sapling, which is also very valuable. Let's go ahead and put him back away, and let's get out the real... So eventually I got to this guy, and he offers the giant sequoia pollen as one of the things. So obviously, if you're familiar with the mod Forestry, the giant sequoia is not actually available to be bred, but you can get the pollen from that villager right there, and eventually you can get the saplings by using the pollen on tree leaves. And I might show that a little bit later. I'm not sure if I will need to or not. So let's just throw these saplings and pollens in here, as well as the emeralds. Wait, what? Okay, so I probably need a battery on this system is what happened right there, but that's okay. Let's just throw everything back away into the system, and let's get out the Gendustry machines that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to be using the Advanced Mutatron, the Mutagen Producer. I probably won't be using the Genetic Replicator today, so I'm not going to set that up. The Genetic Transposer and the Genetic Sampler. There are a few things that I actually need to go back to get at my main base here, but around the edge of this building right here, I have a capacitor, and it's the same capacitor that's outside and on the roof as well. It's just one big capacitor. So let's go ahead and start setting things up. So right here is going to be my import mechanism into my ME system for the space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a genetic imprinter, and let's put that right here. And actually, I might set up another import mechanism on the other side as well. So let's set up this genetic imprinter, and it should get power. So it actually needs a couple things here. So it actually needs genetic slabware and blank gene samples as well. So let's throw these things in here. Oh no, that's my bad. This is the wrong machine. I wanted to put the sampler here. That's my bad. So let's pick this up and put the sampler here. Okay, that's better. So I should need the genetic slabware as well. There we go. And what this machine does is, let's grab a sample here. So let's grab some saplings. That'll work. And let's grab this. And let's throw this in here. So what a genetic sampler will do is it will pull one of these traits and put it onto oh duh, they're already in here, into one of these blank gene samples, and it will give you a gene sample. So for example, if we take a look here, you might get a gene sample of saplings lower as the attribute. So let's actually get this thing working. Do I have anything? Do I have a lot of any sapling? So let's actually grab 9 of the coast sequoias, because that is something that I do need one of the traits from. So let's throw the coast sequoias in here. The trait that I would like to grab from this is the girth trait, which is 3x3. I like my traits to be nice and hefty 3x3, so let's throw these in here. And what should happen is we will get gene samples here. And let's see what this first one is. If it's 3x3, that would be awesome. Nope. It's just the species. So what we're going to do is we're going to hook up an item conduit here. Whoops, I don't know why I did that. So let's grab our item conduit and let's just hook this up to be, come on work. Input over here and then extract from over here. Okay, so let's see the gene samples. Okay, so I don't think they're called gene samples. I don't know what they're called then. Okay, they're tree samples. Cool, I got the trait that I wanted. I saw it just now, so let's throw in here. So I will want the 3x3 trait, and I just saw it. I know you were there, sir. Okay, the girth trait. That's what we want, that 3x3. And let's throw that back in there as well. Let's set up the rest of the machines real fast. So the genetic imprinter. Actually, let's go ahead and set up the advanced Mutatron next. Let's set that up right here. Actually, you know what? Let's set it up right here. Because I want to put the mutagen producer right here. Because the Mutatron to work, it actually needs mutagen. And we can get that from the mutagen producer, in case you guessed. So let's get some interfluid conduit here, because we need to get the liquid from the mutagen producer into the advanced Mutatron. There we go. So that'll help out there. And let's grab an import bus as well. And some covered cable so that we can actually hook this up to the system. And actually, I don't know that I want to hook an import bus up to it. Because it's a machine that you actually need to use manually. Actually, you might be able to use it with redstone. I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me on that. But generally, you'll use it manually. I am actually going to set up an export bus, I think, because this does need, I think, genetic slabware. So let me grab... Yeah, there we go. So you'll put in either a sapling and some pollen, or a princess and a drone. And then you will be able to choose which species to mutate that into. And we can do that here in just a little bit. So let's set up this export bus. That way I always have the genetic slabware in there and I don't have to worry about that. So there we go. Let's just put that there. Cool. Just throw that back away. And then let's go ahead and set down the rest of our machines here. So the genetic imprinter, that's going to be something we'll definitely be using a little bit later. And then the genetic transposer. And okay, yeah, we may or may not use that later. So what I need to do is I actually need to go back to my main base to grab something real fast. And once I have that, I will be right back. Okay, the thing I needed to grab were genetic templates. And what you do with the genetic templates is at first they are blank and they hold no traits. But you combine them in crafting tables with the traits that you pull from the genetic sampler over here. And then you can add that to the genetic template. So what I wanted to add is the girth 3x3. So there we go. Now we have this genetic template that will allow me to get 3x3 trees. So let's actually go ahead and use the mutagen. And actually, let's go ahead and... I forget what we can throw into the mutagen producer. I think... uranium might be the best bet here, but I think redstone also works. Okay, so the uranium doesn't work, but the redstone does. So I'm actually going to automate that. So I'm going to grab an export bus and a couple of covered cables as well. And that way I can just have all the mutagen that I need, because I would like to use this as soon as I can. Maybe not. I'm not actually sure how much mutagen I need to do one process, but what I want to go ahead and do is make a cultivated queen, and that's because it has the fast worker trait versus the forest queen that I have now probably has the slowest trait. So if we do, and actually I need to do 2 things before I can get cultivated. That's on me. So I need to make common first, so that would just be forest and meadows. So let me see here. Do I have any princess? Yeah, I should have a forest princess, and I should have a meadows drone somewhere. So what you do is you throw in your queen and your drone, or your sapling and your pollen, and then you just click on this, and it should get started. The thing is, it doesn't have enough mutagen yet, so it won't actually be able to do it just yet. But once it does have enough mutagen, it will make me a common queen. So let's go ahead and start pulling traits out of saplings, because there are lots of saplings that I would like to do. So first off is the orchard apple, and actually I'm not going to pull anything out of this because this actually has several traits that I am going to keep. So first off, it has the yield trait of higher, and that is one of the highest in the game, if not the highest. I'm not sure if there are any saplings with the highest yield trait, but that's very good. In addition, I also want the apples that the orchard apple will produce. And in general, I like the shape of the tree. So I'm going to keep that. This has 3 things that I like: the yield, the fruit, and the actual tree itself. So that's going to be the saplings that I'm going to mutate later on. So let's grab, and I think I have everything here. So let's grab a balsa, because this right here has one of the traits that I also like. It is the... Oh, that wrong sapling. That's my bad. Oh, do I not have a balsa? I have balsa wood, but I don't have a balsa sapling. So let's see what I can do to get a balsa sapling. So do I have teak and acacia? So I do have a teak, and I should have some acacia pollen as well. Nope, I don't. I actually have desert acacia. So I actually need to do this the other way around. If I grab teak pollen, this will work as well. So let's go ahead and do that. And you know what? Let's pull these out because this is a higher priority here. And once I have one sapling, I actually have a method to get more saplings. So let's hold on to these for the moment. Let's throw that redstone back into the system. And what was I going to do? Actually, let's get my grafter here. I have the industrial grafter, which is from the mod Gendustry. It can use energy from a capacitor, which I have. So let's go ahead and grow an orchard apple. This is just a basic orchard apple. This is not going to be the monster orchard apple I'm going to be growing later on. So let's grab some bone meal as well. And this should grow relatively quickly. Oh, cool, an eclipse. So there will be monsters out here soon. That's cool. So this sapling is not very big. But what I can do with it is I can grab all of the saplings. Oh, wow. That gives a lot of apples. And that's not even a big tree. So, yeah. So that gave me a lot of saplings. It should give me 1 sapling per leaf. So that's cool. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to throw... Not going to throw them away because I actually will need to use the genetic imprinter later on. So let's actually throw these in the genetic imprinter. So the traits that I'm going to be going for are the sappiness, the height, the fertility is actually already... oh, it's not. No, I'm going to be doing the fertility as well. Not the... Yeah, the fertility. That's the how many saplings you get. Yep. And the maturation and the... That's it, actually. So the first thing is the saplings, and that's from the balsa here. Let's see if the balsa is done. It is. So let's go ahead and plant this bad boy out here. And I should have an axe. I actually do have an axe over here. So let's plant this sapling. And the reason I got this balsa is because it gives a large amount of saplings. And I want that trait because later on I might make an ethanol refinery, and you need saplings to do that. So let's grow this, and then let's use our grafter here. So all of a sudden, 1 sapling turns into a bunch of saplings. We got 22. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw let's say 20 of them in here so that I can get that trait that I need. And let's continue. Let's grow one of the other trees that I need. So the golden raspberry is another one that I need, and that will give me the fast maturation. So let's go ahead and throw our spare balsas in there, and let's use this to show that the golden raspberry has the fastest maturation time, so that is the trait that we want from these guys. And actually, since I have 27 of them, I should be able to not worry about breeding more of them. So let's throw 2 of them in the system, and then I will keep 2 of them to be put into the genetic sampler here in a minute. And then the height is going to be coming from the giant sequoia. So I should have a bunch of these right here, and I do. So yeah, I should be able to spare 64 of them. And then what other traits do I need? I already have the 3x3. I have the yield and the fruit both already come from the tree. So I just need the sappiness, which comes from the blue maho. Okay, so I only have the pollen here. So let me see how I can get a blue maho. It is desert acacia and balsa. Okay, so I definitely have desert acacia pollen. I saw that earlier. Cool. So we can use this Mutatron again to get the blue maho. And I think we need 1,000 millibuckets of mutagen to actually be able to complete each thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait on some stuff here. I am waiting on the trait from the balsa. And actually, let's look if we have that just yet. Because if we do, I'm going to put in the next sapling, which would be the golden raspberry. These are just called tree samples. So let's just look up tree sample. Do we have... We don't have what we need just yet. So, yeah, I'm going to just wait on... Actually, no, I'm not, because I have this blue maho now. Cool. So let's plant the blue maho. Let's grow him, and then let's grab some of his saplings, or all of them. So that's way more saplings than I need. But whatever. Better to have too many than not enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue pulling traits from all of my saplings until I get all of the traits that I need. And once I have all of the traits, I will be right back. So I finally have all of the traits that I need pulled out of the trees. So the next thing I actually want to do real fast is I want to set up a centrifugal separator, and I want to automate that real fast so that I can get the honey drops from the honeycombs. So what I'm going to do is let's set this up to be input from the top and output to the right. And the input will obviously be the honeycombs that I'm getting, and then the output will be honey drops, and I'm not sure what might come, but let's go ahead and get that automated. So there we go. We should be getting some honey into here, or honey drops rather. Okay, it looks like maybe we got a little bit unlucky there, but we did get some honey drops. So let's go ahead and let's scan this orchard apple, because I will be growing this, or actually I will be growing one of them at some point. So let's go ahead and get our genetic template and add the traits. So the traits are the highest tree sappiness that I know about. There might be higher, I'm not really sure. I'm guessing that there probably is. High fertility, which will give me lots of saplings. Gigantic height, so it'll be really, really tall. And then lastly, it'll mature really, really quickly. So these traits are the traits that I want to add to my orchard apples here. So let's go ahead and throw this in here into the genetic imprinter. And this will imprint these orchard apples, which are exactly the same as this orchard apple right here, with these traits that I've chosen. And these traits will make this tree be awesome once I actually grow it. So let's actually get this common queen right here, because I would like to get a cultivated queen by the end of today's episode. I'm not sure if that's actually feasible, but we can try. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull out the forest queen and forest drone. I'm going to throw a common queen in here. I'm actually going to turn this off for right now, so that when this separates into its princess and drones, it will just be, I will be able to pull out the common princess and then recombine it with something to make a cultivated princess or drone, or queen rather. So let's go ahead and see. We have a couple of these finished, and let's see, do we have any? You know what? I do have enough. So basically, let's compare and contrast here. So we're going to get way more saplings. That's the first S. It's going to mature faster. It's going to be taller. And it's going to be 3 by 3. So actually what I think I can do right now is I think I will be able to make this work. If you try to grow trees that need multiple saplings, such as a 3 by 3 pattern, which is what I'm going to be doing, the tree that actually grow, or the sapling that actually passes on its traits is the middle sapling, or the sapling that you grow. So if you have like a 4 by 4 tree, you need 16 saplings, and none of these saplings are actually in the middle. But whichever one you use bone meal on, whichever one of the 4 saplings that are near the middle that you use the bone meal on is the sapling that will pass on its traits. So for example, I have saplings here, and I'm going to arrange them in a pattern. Even though these orchard apple saplings do not have the same traits as these, if I go ahead and arrange these in a pattern like this, and I need to complete that, and then grab these 2 saplings here, and then if I grow the middle sapling, which is one of the saplings with the special attributes, it should grow into a 3 by 3. So actually, I think I might change my mind. I might make this a blue maho, because that is terrible. That's really bad, actually. So let me confirm that these actually have the right traits here. Yeah. If this is a gigantic tree, what? That's not gigantic. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the blue mahos. So let's pull these guys out, and that means I'm going to actually need to add a few more traits here. So let's go to the tree attributes here. So I want to add the apples. Okay, here's the apples. So that is the fruits apples, and then I need to add the higher yield if I have that yet, which I might not. There we go, the higher yield. Yeah, I think that's the only 2 traits that I actually need to add. So let's pull this out and let's add these traits to this. And I could have done them both at the same time, but that's okay. So let's throw this in here, and let's grab a blue maho. And let's throw that in here. And let's throw these orchard apples or into the system because I don't really want them. So let's take a look at the attributes of the blue maho. So it does have the high sappiness already. Shoot, do I have any honey? I'm not going to actually be able to analyze this sapling this first sapling when it comes out, because I don't have any honey drops. But I know for a fact that it will have all of the traits that are shown: the sappiness, the height, the fertility, maturation, fruits, and girth. So let's go ahead and grab this, and I'm going to go ahead and grow this using the same method that I used for this tree right here. So this should be a little more impressive height-wise, because that was underwhelming. That was ridiculous. Okay, that's more of what I wanted to see. And then let's grab a bunch of the saplings before we cut this thing down. Not the saplings actually shouldn't be a problem, because it's bred to give off a lot of saplings. So right now I have 54 saplings, and I'm actually going to throw those saplings in here just to see how many saplings I get from the rest of the tree when I cut it down. So I really enjoy lumber axes in this type of situation from the mod. Holy crap. That's a lot of apples from the mod Tinker's Construct, because they can take down whole trees at a time. That is a lot of stuff from that one little tree. So we got over 100 saplings and a lot of apples. I don't know. I'm not going to even count how many apples, but it's a lot. So let's go ahead and throw all of this stuff into the system here. And I do want to keep a stack of these guys so that I can analyze them. So cool. So we should have a bunch of fantastic saplings. Let's also get rid of this. That's underwhelming. That was really, really short. For being gigantic, that was really, really short. Okay, so do we have any honey yet? We don't. That's unfortunate. That's because this might give off different comb. It does not. So, because I replaced my forest queen with a common queen. Oh, it's because I turned off the automation. That's dumb. That's my fault. So let's throw this in here and hopefully we get a honey drop or 2 or 3. I don't actually know what the odds are of getting a honey drop from regular comb. Nope, that's the wrong comb. There are lots of different types of combs, and they give off lots of different types of things. So the honeycomb should have a 90% honey drop. Did I really just get that unlucky? That's really unfortunate, because I had 3 honeycombs there. Oh, okay. I thought it said 90. It's 40%, so we got maybe a little bit unlucky. But, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go away until I get some honey drops so that I can confirm that these saplings are what I think they are. And once I have some honey, I will be right back. So I have my honey drops finally, and let's go ahead and analyze these things. They are of the attributes that I wanted, and as we saw earlier, they do produce apples. So let's grow a few of these guys just to see kind of what the average tree is going to be like. Because growing just one tree really doesn't give you a representative example all of the time, so let's just go ahead and grow 3 of them real fast. And let's say over here, that'll be fine. Okay, so hopefully it's still light enough to actually grow. So that grew fast. That is ridiculous. And that tree is, wow, that tree is massive. So yeah, it looks like these are going to be the ticket that I wanted. They are going to provide lots of saplings, lots of apples, so that I can make ethanol in the future. And hopefully I didn't lose you guys. This was a really quick run through of making really awesome trees. So in today's episode, I set up this system right here, other than the ME system, which I already had set up. But I set up the Gendustry machines, and I've automated several of them, or semi-automated some of them in the case of the advanced Metatron. I also bred up an awesome sapling here, the Blue Maho sapling, that will provide me with lots of apples. It will be a huge tree. It will provide lots and lots of saplings as well. And I will be able to turn it into lots and lots of ethanol using a fairly small farm. So that's going to be pretty fantastic. I also set up an apiary over here, and that's probably ready to be rebred. But I will probably breed this into a cultivated queen so that I can get lots more honey from that system. But anyways, if you enjoyed today's episode, feel free to drop a like down below. And if you enjoy watching automation type stuff in modern Minecraft, definitely consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Anyways, signing off, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and I will see you next time.